You asked what stirs in the storm's eye. Here's the answer. A time lapse. Kushala Daora's storm spirals over a barren expanse, thunder echoing through shattered, wind-scarred cliffs. The guild's secret project sought to bend weather to their will. You skies asked what balance guilds here is the reach answer. Old now world and Chimera, rules the skies, spirals over a making. A time lapse. Kushala all in Daora's laws. Spirals over making. What if their barren weather expanse experiments did not bend the storm but bent them? The guild sought mastery, yet the Tempest now dictates their hunts. What if the Tempest does not obey them, but they obey it? Each lightning strike whispers secrets of a power they could not contain. Did they harness the sky, or did the sky harness them? The guild's charts map the storm's rage, but who charts their own fate? Their ambition did not break the tempest, it forged its chains. Now every hunt is a plea for mercy from the storm they awakened. What if the guild's storms are not their weapon, but their cage? The guild charted tempests long before Kushala's wrath. Their equal dragon weapon sought to weaponize elder magic, a failure that scorched their archives. Surviving logs detail atmospheric correction projects experiments to bend storms, not break them. Capture, not slay, their creed held even as skies rebelled, but Daora's cyclones defy nature's cadence. Each vortex hums with frequencies matching guild prototypes, now twisted beyond recognition. The ethical code crumbles under evidence. If storms were tools, what became of the handle? What if the guild's capture was a containment they couldn't maintain? Kushala's tempests are not birthed by rage, but by rupture, a leaking wound where science and sky collided. Every lightning strike echoes the equal dragon's failed incantations. The guild now hunts what they half-shaped, bound by the same ethics that blinded them. To cage a storm is to trust its leash. Daora's winds howl with the weight of that trust. Did they awaken a dragon or unleash the weather's vengeance? The distinction matters less than the truth. The sky no longer weeps, it breathes. The bestiary's oldest pages whisper of storm elders. Monster Hunter 2 names Kushala Daora as weather's sovereign. Taxonomy falters where elder dragons' reign boundaries blur between myth and biology. The guild's vaults hold blueprints for weather chains, schematics to yoke lightning. What if their reach exceeded the sky's permissions? The tempests Kushala commands are no primal gift. Each bolt is a scar in the atmosphere, each gale a memory of fractured experiments. The storm is a language, the guild spoke it first. And the skies answered with fangs. Taxonomists call him anomaly. The truth is simpler, he is the weather's reckoning. His wings do not merely ride the clouds, they rewrite them. The guild's hubris carved a throne for him in the storm. Their failed chains became his talons, their dead experiments fed his hunger. To classify him as dragon is to miss the wound. He is taxonomy's limit, a creature born where science and sky collided. The bestiary records his power as canonical. It does not ask why the storms obey, only that they do. The guild's vaults remain sealed, but the sky no longer weeps, it breathes. And in its breath lies a question. What if the monster was never born, but unleashed ? Field notes contradict the guild's official logs. Old world expeditions recorded anomalous storm patterns preceding the Shrade collapse. Decades later, Chimera's rampage mirrors this. Magnamelo's lightning didn't strike it *, unraveled *. The guild's weather charts, leaked in 1372, show deliberate pressure shifts over both regions. A failed experiment or a pattern. Shrade's fall wasn't just political. Its skies split end, swallowing entire battalions. Survivors spoke of thunder that * hungered *. The guild sealed the archives, but Chimera's storms return, identical in frequency to Shrade's final weeks. Coincidence? The data refuses to say. Kushala's tempests breathe, yes, but they also repeat *. Cyclones spiral in Shrade's old war zones. Lightning forks in the same arcs as Magnamelo's final surge. The guild's natural disaster reports ignore this. They call it a monster. The storms call it a echo. A classified 1394 schematic recovered from a guild waste site labels Project Tempest as atmospheric stabilization. The footnote, unforeseen variables, containment breach likely, no mention of dragons. No mention of failure, just a redacted budget line item, * sky reclamation initiative *. The Shrade trauma lingers for a reason. Its collapse wasn't unique, was a prototype. Kushala's storms are the afterimage of that prototype's death. The guild's weather studies didn't create this. They accelerated it. The sky no longer weeps. It repeats asterisk. And every storm that rages is a question left unanswered. What else did they unleash, and how many more skies will burn before the answer is known? They call her a monster, they call hunters conquerors, but what is conquest but a language of fire and steel? Storm they bones, twisted cloud roots, and called it preservation. Capture, not slay their conquer, a hymn to control. Yet every net cast into the Tempest's heart unraveled something older than their greed. Kushala's rage is not primal, it is provoked. The storms are not her birthright. They are wounds throbbing. The guild's machines carved canyons into the sky, siphoned lightning like blood from a vein. What did they think they tamed? A beast? No. They tampered with weather's pulse, with the breath of forests, the sigh of oceans. And when the balance cracked, when the first monsoons turned to poison mist, they sent hunters to contain the chaos, as if a forest could be contained. As if a storm could be caged. Kushala is not the villain, she is the reckoning. The guild's capture is a lie, they did not hunt her. They fractured the world until it screamed back. Every arrow loosed, every trap set, is another splinter in the sky. The Tempests are not her war. They are the echo of their own. What do you call a tree that burns when you strike its roots? What do you call a storm that rises where you poured poison? The guild's ethical framework is a mask. They do not fight monsters, they manufacture them. The guild did not merely observe the Tempest. Across Old World and Chimera, their labs charted lightning, bottled thunder. One failed. The storm's birth was no accident. They sought to bend the sky. What they loosed devoured the blueprint. You think the guild hunts Kushala? They kneel. Their maps are not tools, they are apologies. What rises when ambition outstrips mastery? The Wyverian chronicles whisper of a storm older than stone. Their ink bleeds warnings. Asterisk, the guild did not forge the Tempest. It unshackled it. Asterisk, in Tri-Era archives between Cedius' rise and Elatrian's reign, a gap festers. What if the guild's lightning traps didn't bind chaos? What if they asterisk summoned asterisk it? The experiments, whether chains, they called them, were not hubris. They were a key turned in a lock no mortal made. The first logs speak of skies splitting, of a roar without mouth. The guild's maps, those apologetic scrolls, trace not storms but a wound that breathes. Kushala Daora does not command the Tempest. It asterisk is asterisk the Tempest. The Wyverians name it asterisk Airkala asterisk the storm's first breath. The guild's machines, those brass and obsidian leviathans, did not birth this god. They scraped its prison's walls. Now every bolt of lightning is a shackle snapping. Every hurricane, a memory unburied. The Tri-Era's silence is no accident. Cedius, with his frost, was the guild's last gambito cage, what Thade freed. But Elatrian's ascent, a requiem. The final proof no weapon can harm what was always older, always waiting. You think the guild hunts Kushala? They flee. Their weather chains now chain asterisk themselves asterisk. The sky is a graveyard of their ambitions, and in the thunder, Airkala laughs. The storm is not a monster, it is a mirror. The guild's chains did not bind the scythe, strained it. Each lightning strike a ledger entry. Each gust a tally of transgression. Elder dragons dwell beyond taxonomy's edge, beyond the bestiary's brittle pages. They are not aberrations, they are equilibrium. Kushala Daora's tempests are not chaos. They are calculus. The guild carved canals through weather's flesh, dug dikes in the atmospheric tides. What rose was no experiment, it was arithmetic. A sky pushed past its threshold breathes back in thunder. The guild's ambition was a wound. The storm is the body's cough. To call Kushala a beast is to misunderstand the ledger. She is the sky's immune response, a dragon not of malice but of correction. The guild's weather chains. They are not tools, they are incitements. Every bolt of electricity that scars the earth is interest paid on a debt of hubris. The bestiary calls her elder. The storm calls her answer. What does the storm demand when the ledger is full? Not vengeance, balance. The guild's mistake was not in seeking power. It was in believing the sky could be a servant. Airkala does not laugh, it waits, and in the static between storms the reckoning hums. The sky's wrath is no longer a force, it is a wound. The guild carved into the Tempest's heart, stitching lightning to its machines, until the storm itself turned blade. Equal Dragon's failure was not an accident. Anti-elder research fractured the air's bones. Shrade's ash still whispers, this is what hunger sounds like. What does a hunter atone for when their quarry is a god, when every arrow loosed into Kushala's maw becomes kindling for its fire? The guild's ledgers burn with half-solved equations whether as weapon, until the weapon refused to be held. Now the storms choose, now they remember. A hunter once took pride in reading the elder's signs. What if the signs are pleas? What if every thunderclap is a name spoken in the dead tongue? The Shrade fields still crack like broken ribs. No rain comes there, no forgiveness. Does the guild kneel? Or does it dig deeper, as it always does, for another lever, another thread to pull in ere Kala's loom? The hunter's hands are soiled with more than blood. They have fed a monster its first breath. What does it demand now? Not death, not power, the quiet horror between the questions. The weight of a sky that no longer forgets. The sky does not forget. It remembers the guild's hunger, the way they carved lightning into caged equations. Their machines hummed with hubris, stitching storms to the bones of the earth. What blooms when a species becomes the wound? A dragon that does not hunt, but asterisk declares asterisk. Kushala Daora is no predator. It is the ecosystem's recoil, a being that exists to unmake balance. Its wings do not flap the asterisk correct asterisk. The storms are not its breath. They are its asterisk language asterisk, a dialect of chaos the guild could not translate. Elder dragons dwell in the gaps between science and surrender. They are not monsters. They are the wild's answer to the question, asterisk what if life cannot be catalogued? Asterisk the guild sought dominion over weather, but the Tempests spat back. Their experiments did not birth Kushala, they asterisk unleashed asterisk it, a force that thrives because it was never meant to be tamed. Every crack of thunder is a verdict. Every gust a reminder the world is not a ledger, it is a asterisk living thing asterisk. The guild's maps are ash now, their towers splintered by winds that learn and adapt. What does it mean to be alive if not to resist erasure? Kushala's reign is not ruin, it is asterisk equilibrium asterisk. A storm that rewrites the rules because the old ones were broken. The sky no longer forgets, it asterisk chooses asterisk, and in that choice, life asserts its right to remain untamed. The storm's breath still rages, but its fury now hums in harmony with the earth. The air tastes of iron and ozone, a metallic hush clinging to the ashen plains where Kushala's wings once split the heavens. Here, where the guild's sigil is etched into blackened stone cracked by roots that twist like serpents, truth lingers. The Wyverians carved their warnings deep, asterisk the sky remembers what we forget, asterisk not a prophecy, but a reckoning. Their glyphs, worn by wind and time, depict storms coiled around spires of glass, towers that once pierced the clouds where the guild sought to bind the weather's wild heart. A gust carries the scent of rain that never falls. The wind's voice is not chaos, but a language older than the guild's hubris. It whispers of experiments that sought to tame the sky, of equations scrawled on brittle scrolls, of machines that shattered under the weight of lightning. The guild did not create Kushala. They unraveled a seal, a thread in the fabric of the world's memory. Now, the Tempests are not her wrath, they are her inheritance. The storm's eye is a mirror. In it, the Wyverians saw their own Mia, the guild their hubris, and all who gazed upward their shared delusion that the wild could be owned. The emblem of the Guildants, a symbol of order, frays into vapor, its edges dissolving into thunderheads. Below, the land bears scars of their ambition. Above, the sky holds its breath. The wilderness remembers, and in the silence between lightning, Kushala's dominion begins. The air crackles with ozone, the horizon bleeds violet. Beneath every thunderclap, a deeper rhythm pulse measured, methodical, asterisk alive asterisk. Forbidden lands whisper of villages swallowed whole by tempests that moved asterisk 2 asterisk straight, 2 asterisk angry asterisk. In monster hunter wilds, hunters found glyphs fused to stormfronts, etched not in stone but in lightning. The guild's vaults hold blueprints for atmospheric harmonization. Their notes, scrawled in the margins, beg a question. Asterisk what frequency bends the sky to our will? Asterisk the answer, it seems, howled back. And now the earth trembles not from what falls from the heavens but what asterisk rises asterisk. What if the storm's true birthplace isn't the cloud, but the lab?